I'm so excited to open my paper pumpkin kit with you today. I'm going to start in about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to check to make sure that the lives are streaming correctly. All right, let's see. Okay, looks like Facebook is working. Let's go ahead and share this. And then let's check and make sure it's working over on YouTube. Okay. I think it's working. Checking the volume. Hi, Debbie. You're here. She says, I remembered. I'm so glad that you are here. Over on Facebook, we'll check the volume over there. I think it's working. Okay. It's a little bit behind, but that's okay. Let's try refreshing it. Oop. Okay. That didn't really work. Try that again. There we go. Over on Facebook. All right. So I am live on both platforms, Facebook and on YouTube. So if you are watching, go ahead and say hello. It's so fun to see who's joining me. Hi, Denise. You're here too. It's so great to see you. Thanks for joining me. So the kit this month is called Mountain Majesties. Love that name. It's the May 2025 kit. And I've had a couple of you reach out and let me know that your kits are arriving a little later than normal. So just so you know, you're not the only one. I've had at least 5 people reach out. So it's something that's, I don't know if Stampin' Up! Changed the way they were shipping their kits, but it seems to be more than just a couple people. So I'm surprised that I got my kit because I usually feel like I'm one of the last people. Okay. All right. Hi, Gloria. It's great to see you. So we'll get started right at noon. So if you've gotten your kit, go ahead and let me know that you've received it. If you haven't, let me know if you're waiting for it. This kit, from what I remember, because of the name, has like mountains, landscape type images. I think it's also geared towards kind of Father's Day. But of course, we can always change the greetings to work for whatever we need, right? So it's going to be a really great kit for people who enjoy being outdoors. For men, it might work for that type of kind of the people that we're sending those kinds of cards to. So it's going to be a great kit to play around with. I'm really excited to see what's inside and to make some alternatives. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is take the contents from the paper pumpkin kit and create more cards. And so the kit usually contains supplies to make between 8 to 9 cards or on different projects. Sometimes they have other projects as well. And I then take those contents, add just a couple other supplies, including cardstock, and we create more from the kit. And I call that my Paper Pumpkin Week, and it usually starts a week or so after I do my unboxing. So you can kind of keep an eye out for that on my channel. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, then you'll want to do that so that you can be notified when I upload those videos. Denise is here. She says that she got her kit yesterday, and normally she gets hers much later as well, and she's in Texas. And Amy, she says that her kit arrived yesterday as well. Perfect. Okay, couple more, like one more minute, and then we'll open it up and get started. What I like to do for this unboxing video is make the intended projects, and that way we can find any little kinks, or if I have any little tips or tricks to share with you, then we kind of figure all that stuff out in this video. It's the first time I'm seeing the box. I don't get more than just one box. Sometimes I have people ask, how many boxes do you get? And I just get one. And so all of my alternatives, everything is just made from one box. Hi, Sherry. She says her kit arrived 2 hours ago. Yay. And Jane, she also says that she got her kit yesterday. It's great to see you, Jane. And Kim says hers arrived on Monday. Perfect. So they're starting to show up. That is really great. Okay, it's noon. Let's go ahead and get started. So again, this is the May 2025 Mountain Majesties Paper Pumpkin Kit. And we're going to see what is inside. So it looks like we've got our stamp set. Every Paper Pumpkin Kit does include a stamp set. We'll look more closely at what these greetings say in just a minute when I look at the paper. And so that's always nice. So that's something that you can keep for in part of your paper crafting stash, and it doesn't take up very much room. And I'll show you what I do and how I store those. What am I doing? But this is the Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot. I'm going to go ahead and open this. Apparently that's what I want to do. To open it, I just carefully take my paper snips, open them up, and then cut right along the front between the lid and the base. And then I keep this side intact so that it just swings open like that. If I don't do that, I'm going to definitely lose that cover somewhere. That's just the way it is. In your very first kit, you're going to receive a clear block, and you'll want to hold on to this. This is what you'll place your stamps on so that you can then make your projects. Okay. Oh, hello, Amy. She says, excited to catch you live. And she also got her kit a couple hours ago. And then Roxanne asks, when will the PDF be up for the class? So that's a totally different thing. Roxanne, I'm working on that today, and I'll send the email and everything out for that May class today. That's my goal. Hi, Karen. It's great to see you. All right, let's go ahead and open up this kit. Here are the projects. It's kind of got a glare, so I'm going to open it up so we can see it a little better. Yay, Deborah's here. So here we go. Here are the cards. We've got this beautiful kind of landscape, mountain. It makes me think of here in Colorado, we have the Great Sand Dunes, which is a national park. And we've been there a couple times, and my kids really love them. But that color, kind of a wild wheat yellow color, makes me think of those sand dunes there. And then we have a similar kind of layout with greens and blues. And then we have more of a forest lake, mountain lake kind of scene there. So those are really beautiful. Really would work for anyone who enjoys the outdoors. This is that little paper I was talking about that's going to show us what our stamps are going to look like. It looks like we mostly have greetings again. We've got "You mean the world to me," "Happy birthday," I love you. Best dad ever. You're the greatest. Happy Father's Day. If we flip it over, we have to a wonderful man. And then it looks like we've got a flock of birds. And that's one stamp set, all of that together. Before we move on, let me show you what I do with my stamps and how I store them. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to cut it right along that dotted edge, just like that. I'm going to take a clear envelope. So these come in a pack of 50, so they're very reasonable, and they're just called the clear medium envelopes. And I cut off this sticky part. So usually I just cut it at like 6 inches. So remove that. And now I've got a clear envelope that's got a little bit of a tab here, which makes it easier to add things to the inside. Oh, I also write the month right here. Let me grab my permanent pen. So this is May 2025. So I give that a moment to dry, and then I'm going to put this inside my envelope. You can push it all the way down to the bottom if you'd like. I usually will just let it go as close to the top, because when I'm flipping through them in my little box, then I have it close to the top and I don't have to go all the way up to the bottom. And then I take my stamp set and I just place it behind that paper, just like that. So that's how I store my paper pumpkin stamps. I have like a little plastic box that I just put them in, and they just kind of line up in the box, and I'll shuffle through them to find the one I'm looking for. I also store my coordinating dies the same way, just in a plastic envelope so that they're all the same size, and I just put it in front of the 3 months that it coordinates with. All right, so I get that question a lot on how do I store my stamps. Hi, Natalie. She said she also just received her kit. Okay, so Sherry says, let's see, she just gave a comment. She says, last month I started a new subscription just because my previous subscription was completed. My kit included a clear block. I'm not a new subscriber, but getting Paper Pumpkin for close to 10 years. I think it's just because you started a new subscription. So that's kind of a nice thing. It's always nice to have a couple extra of these on hand, so that way you're not always moving the stamps on and off of them. So that's a really great thing to note, that if you maybe, and I don't know if it was just because Sherry, because of the switchover with the different moving from Paper Pumpkin to Stampin'Up.com, you know, I'm not sure if that's why, or if it was just a fluke, but that's a nice little thing that you got. That's great. Hi, Joan. It's great to have you here. She says she's from Washington State. Okay, let's continue on. Let's finish opening up our kit. The other nice thing about these Paper Pumpkin kits is that it does include the adhesive that you need. So we've got some tearing tape, and then it looks like we also have some dimensionals. So a nice large sheet of dimensionals. We are getting some beautifully coordinated envelopes. So it looks like we have 3 in 3 different colors. So we have kind of a blue-green, petal pink, but we've got some vellum pieces in between there, and then this blue color, probably Misty Moonlight. They all have kind of a watercolor feel to them. Very similar patterns, but just different colors. So that's really nice. We have the vellum pieces. There should be 3. This includes a blue and a teal. I'm going to hold on to one for our projects today, put the rest back into my box for my alternatives. There are a sheet of labels, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of each size. I'm just going to go ahead and pop out one of each size here. I'm not sure why we have 5. But I probably will need at least one. I can always come back and take more out if I need it. Oh, and then we've got our beautiful card bases here. This one is gorgeous. So the pattern goes all the way across, so from the front to the back. It's got some black, kind of shadowy pine trees, and then we've got like a gray shadow pine tree that's being reflected into the water. Beautiful blue mountains that move into a teal with some clouds as well. So that's a really beautiful card base. We'll need one for today's projects. Go ahead, if you're making these along with me, put the other 2 back in your box. Here are some more vellum pieces, again, green and blue, saving one of those. Here is card base number 2. This one has kind of the green valley, blue mountains, and then a pink sky. I love that. Beautiful combination of colors there. Again, it goes all the way across, and here on the right side, which is the front, it looks like there's a little bit of a circular glow happening. I'm not sure if that's coming across in the video or not, but that's really pretty there on the front. We've got some die cut pieces. I'm going to need 1 sheet of those. There should be 2 more, so 3 in total. And then our last card base has kind of, again, that pink sky. We have some sandy dunes, and then gray and blue down at the bottom. Beautiful. Here we also have a circle for a sun or something on the front. So total of 3 card bases there. And then our last die cut piece, this is interesting. It's the first time they've done this, where they've printed a greeting. It says, "Thank you for being the person you are." That's kind of nice. We also have some more die cut trees with matching blue, gray, blue kind of background so that it's seamless and doesn't have a white border. And some more of those die cuts. It looks like that's just one solid piece there. So that will be fun to see how all that worked together for our card. And then I hold on to these. You can always find a good reason to use a nice thick piece of cardboard. Ruby, she just got her kit today. I don't do Father's Day, but I couldn't skip because I love your alternatives. Thank you so much, Ruby. I think you're going to love the alternatives. There's always somebody that we can send a beautiful card to. And if you know anyone who enjoys the outdoors, then these cards would be perfect. If not, they're going to be gorgeous cards anyway. So I'm so glad you've decided to get the kit. Okay, let's get started. I forgot to mention that this paper has our instructions. So on the front, it gives us full-size card images. On the back, we have a visual listing of everything you should have in the kit. So if you feel like you're missing something, you can kind of come back to here and check it out. Here at the bottom, we have all of our coordinating colors. We've got Basic Black, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, and Petal Pink. This little section here is showing you the coordinating die cut. You can purchase this through StampinUp.com, and I'll include a link to this listing on StampinUp.com in the description after the video. So you can come back and click that link. That I will also see if they have any refills and things like that. So that if you're interested in getting more the supplies to make these cards, sometimes they offer a refill. Those are only while supplies last, and so sometimes they also are sell out very quickly. On the inside, this bottom inside that has the 3 sections, this gives us a visual idea of everything we need for that one card. So we're going to start here with card number 1. And then on the inside where it says number 1, this is how we put it together. So there's no words. So sometimes we have to kind of figure it all out together. So for card number 1, we've got the pink sky with blue and green. And we need the skinny label that we punched out. So that one. And it looks like, I have no idea what we need. Okay, my guess is this vellum piece down here. That's a part of the larger blue piece. It looks like a similar shape and color to this piece right here. So I'm going to go with that. And then okay, I'm going to go with this other, this is a teal piece that is on the opposite of that smaller blue. It's also the vellum. It has kind of a similar swooping shape to that. And then these two pieces, I think, are the cardstock pieces. So we've got this green small triangular piece. That's just paper. And then this one is kind of the opposite piece. We'll do right there. Okay, so that comes from the paper and it's underneath the brown. We need the tear and tape dimensionals and our stamps, as well as Happy Father's Day. And again, if you're going with a different greeting, you can definitely do that. Don't have to do Happy Father's Day. You could do Happy Birthday. If you want to use one from here, you could use You're the Greatest. Everyone likes to hear something like that. We need our Misty Moonlight and the birds. Oh, you know what? There are 2 different stamps here. I did not realize that. So we have a large flock of birds and we have a small flock of birds. I'm going to put the small flock of birds on a small regular clear block. These are the regular ones that Stampin' It! Has. They're a little thicker. And then this birds, I'm going to put top here. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and try putting this together. Let's begin by stamping our greeting. And I'm going to do a quick test. I've got that scrap paper from that I cut off of the stamp. You know what I'm talking about, this little stamp thing. I'm going to do a little test here. Make sure my stamps are working. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And we're just going to stamp that right in the center. If you do have any issues with your stamps, you can always flip your paper over. There are 2 sides to your paper. Then you don't have to feel like you need to use up another die cut. We're also stamping on our card base. We're going to stamp some birds going off into this distance. We'll do the larger bird grouping first. When you stamp this, make sure the birds are not upside down. I just noticed that that is a possibility. So they should make a V shape. And we're kind of stamping like that, I'm guessing. And then we have the smaller group. Right over here in the distance. Next, we're going to add our dimensionals. The dimensionals are shown with a little hexagon shape. So it looks like lots of things get dimensionals on them. I feel like they put a lot of dimensionals on stuff, and I'm usually like a 2, maybe 3 dimensional type person. So I don't usually do as many as they put. I'm going to put 1 here, 1 there. You can also cut the dimensionals if you want them to be a little bit smaller. And flip this. So I am mimicking the shape that they have here. So it's up high on the right, low on the left, and that's where I'm going to put my dimensionals on that side. And I'll probably just do 3, something like that. They added theirs just to the bottom half, so don't go above that. Okay, so those 3 pieces get dimensionals. Then this piece, again, we're mimicking that shape of the vellum. We're going to add some tear and tape to that piece. And they just have it at the bottom. I don't know if this is going to show up or not. Sometimes vellum shows adhesive, but we'll just go with what they're saying. And then we've got this is the blue paper piece. They're also putting tear and tape on the back there. Okay. So they have kind of an A, B, C, D type of thing. We'll see if this makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base. I love using a bone folder to make a nice crease. I've included a link to the bone folder as well as some other tools that I like to use. And I'll add that to the description when this is over. Let's begin with our A piece. This is the vellum. It has some dimensionals on the bottom half. And I think it just goes right up to the bottom here. Okay. Then we have our B piece, which is just the tear and tape on some cardstock. And again, this goes at the bottom here. Our C piece is more vellum. Again, line it up at the bottom. And then our D piece is this one here. So this is the paper piece with the dimensionals. It's a tiny little triangle. And that also goes near the bottom. It doesn't go all the way across. Really beautiful layering there. And then our last thing we're going to add is our dimensional. With dimensionals is our greeting. And it does not go over this paper piece in the front, just the vellum and this piece. And it goes maybe about here. You really could add it anywhere you wanted. It just is going to be on that same level here. Okay, so it's attached to the vellum and the paper piece. And that card is done. Super simple, beautiful card. And let's see, which envelope would you coordinate that with? I'm thinking maybe this pretty teal one. Which one would you do? Ruby says, the colored vellum is so pretty. I get a refill of just vellum sheets. Oh, I know. It is really pretty. I love vellum. I wish they had more vellum options to purchase. All right, I need a quick drink. So next we're going to go to card number 2, and that's going to be our Lakeside Mountain card. So we have our card base. I'm going to go ahead and fold that. We also need a lot of things. They've really stacked them up. So we've got this larger piece here, maybe just because it's kind of obvious what pieces we need. And we need this piece. And it says this greeting. And we'll go ahead and throw that away. We also need the larger rectangle. And just as I mentioned, this larger white square is a clear block. That's what that is right there. Let me just double check that we got everything. I think I also need, it looks like there's another piece of vellum back here. Maybe this large vellum piece. Okay. I think that might be it. So we'll flip over to the instruction section, find number 2. And it says we're going to stamp the small little birds up in the sky. Again, make sure they're going the right direction. Lots of dimensionals. I am not sure how this is going to work. So I'm going to wait to put the dimensionals on the greeting part, but I can put some on my die cuts. So the trees get some dimensionals. And the vellum piece looks like it gets dimensionals. And they have it from like a majority of this piece looks like it needs dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop some in the corners. And then the paper piece looks like it just has tear and tape. Okay, let's begin. So on step number 3, we're going to add the vellum piece first. That's layer A. Again, we're going to okay, well, we're just going to go for it. Don't ask questions. We'll just line it up with the bottom of the card base and the left and right sides. Feels so strange to be covering up all that design there. Then we have layer B, which is the mountain and lake scene, which is where we get those designs coming back, so that makes sense. And that gets again layered up on top of the vellum, just like the other card, on the left and right and bottom edges. Okay, so this is that little piece of vellum that we see right there. Then our C piece is dimensionals of the trees on the left. And we just add that to the left corner. And it looks like it pretty much goes over what was printed there. So that's beautiful. Okay, so now to figure out how this goes on. So it says that the large white one gets dimensionals, so let's put some on there. And they have this right about here, it looks like. Okay. And then I think this goes off to the left a little bit. So my question is, are they putting the dimensionals just on this left side here? Is that what is happening? Maybe. So if that's the case, I think I'm going to use, okay, we're just going to put 2, and I'm going to just put them right up next to this so that I can hide them. On that side. I could put a little tear and tape on that side if I wanted to as well. Maybe something like that. Interesting. Okay. That's how I ended up doing it. If you want to try a different way, you're definitely welcome to do that. You could combine them together with some tear and tape and then stick them on that way as well. Okay, that card's done. These ones are really quick and easy. I would say for this card, I would use the Misty Moonlight envelope because it coordinates nicely with that dark blue color. So for our last card, we need our kind of a desert card base and the rest of our die cuts. So we have the large desert die cut. Hi, Nanette. She said she just received her kit the other day. And Hildy's here. Hello, Hildenelle. It's great to have you here. And Nanette is saying she's patiently waiting for my alternatives. Oh, I'm so glad. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to start on them this week and maybe get some videos up next week. And I know last month I was quite behind, so we'll just see. I'm not going to make any promises this time. So I've got my sandy hills. I've got the vellum and then kind of this darker blue and gray piece. And then we're using the stamp, You Mean the World to Me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the clear block. I do have a couple of these clear blocks that I'd like to keep on hand. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to begin by stamping You Mean the World to Me over that circle in the sky, so over the sun. So I'm going to just double check that everything stamps well before stamping it on my card base. Okay. Close that up so I don't accidentally get ink everywhere. And then it looks like everything gets dimensionals for this. So we've got the brown layer, that's what I should say instead of label. I'm just going to put one in each corner and then one in the middle. We have our blue vellum. Flip it over so it matches the same shape as our instructions. I'm just going to put a couple down in the corners and one about halfway. And then our bottom piece also has some dimensionals along the bottom edge. Okay. Starting with layer A. So Amy asks, are there any dies that go with this kit? And they are the same dies that I used for last month's alternatives. They coordinate with, let's see, April, May, and June kits. So we'll take a quick look at those in a minute. And we can, I don't know if there's like images that are specific to this kit or if it's, you know, just the label. There's that really beautiful label that works well with anything. Okay, so now I've added the blue vellum layer. You can see the adhesive showing through. So that's why it's important that we cover that up with our last layer right on top. Just like that. Beautiful card. I love the depth that those pieces give to this card. I am really excited to, let's add our envelope. I'm going to do the petal pink one for that. But I'm really excited to play around with the contents from this kit and give some more ideas on fun ways that you can use the products to create more cards. So really beautiful, quick, simple, easy cards. Perfect to give really to anybody. So let's take a quick look at those dies. So these are the dies. These are the Hugs a Bloom dies. And if you can believe it, I lost my flower. I did buy myself a new one. Let me see if I can find it. I know I have the label. Oh, there's the label. But I know I have the label, but I did lose my flower, which is so sad. I looked everywhere for it and I can't find it. So here are the dies. So it has this really beautiful label, which would work for any project. There's the leaves, and I wonder if the leaves would coordinate nicely with this stamp. You could cut them out with, you know, that beautiful vellum blue. There's all that beautiful vellum down here at the bottom that's being hidden, and you could cut some of those out and tuck them underneath some greetings. That'd be pretty. There's this gorgeous flower. Again, you could use that. And then we have the word hugs in like a script. So you could also use that. I used all of these on my projects from last month, and I can imagine that I probably will pull it out and use them again this month, just because I can see some fun ways to use it with that vellum especially. So hopefully that answered your question, Amy. There are some more coordinating products if you're interested. I think I got them. If you give me just a minute, I'll see if I can find them. Okay, so what I was able to find the dies, I didn't want to make you guys wait too long, but these dies are called Scenic Adventure dies, and they are, you know, very beautiful dies for like outdoor things. So we've got pine trees. These are really cute little flowers. There's like a little campfire. There's a nighttime scene, some mountain ranges, like a little shimmering lake. What is this? This one looks like a tree line in the background, bushes. So this would be a really fun one if you are more of a, if you're not new in paper crafting and you've got more products like a stamp and cut and emboss machine, these would be something that you could definitely go to if you want to really enhance your cards. That would be something fun that you could do with that. I probably will not be playing with these for this because I do try to keep my alternatives really simple and mostly just to the paper pumpkin products, plus some cardstock, and then of course the dies that coordinate if I need to. So any other questions on this kit? Really fun, quick, easy projects this month. I love that. All right. Well, if I don't see anything pop up, then I hope you would just have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me. And you're always welcome to reach out if you have questions about Paper Pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Products. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I will add the link to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin in the description here once this video is over. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a creative day. Bye.